Heyo, welcome back. My name is Melany. So last time we covered Five Nights at Freddy's 1. If you haven't seen it, no worries, you can still watch this video just fine. I'll give you a quick little rundown. FNAF 1 initially came out in August 2014 to overwhelming success. YouTube Let's Players became obsessed with it. The games were selling like mad and people were starting to piece together a little bit of hidden lore hiding within the game. It made perfect sense for a sequel to be formed. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. While I was first fully aware of this game in August 2014, I didn't watch any Let's Plays of it, and I hadn't really immersed myself in the series until the second and third games. I remember when Dan TDM uploaded his video on it, and that's really when I became aware of the series, and when FNAF 3 came out, that's really when I became a fan of the series. The lead up to FNAF 2's release was an exciting time to be alive, to say the least. This game is what started the trend for FNAF games to be properly teased on developer Scott Cawthon's website, scottgames.com. At the time, it was promised for a 2015 release date. However, somehow the game was anti-delayed? The game released early, and fully intact too. It wasn't seem to be rushed out the door or anything like that. Ahem. Take notes. The game released in November 2014. That's not 2015. Apparently this game was developed even faster than FNAF 1, taking only 4 months of development time, even less than the 6 months FNAF 1 was. And FNAF 2 was said to be a much more ambitious title than the first. I remember back in the day, this was my favorite of the series. So hey, let's continue this little retrospective nostalgia party, and let's go into FNAF 2. Last time I decided to capture footage for this game, I used the console port from 2019, but this time I tried the controls for the game using a controller, and I kinda just said fuck it and bought the game on Steam this time. This game really just doesn't work on a controller, at least not for me. I needed the precision of a mouse. Okay, so FNAF 2. I hate to start off on a negative, but I really need to say this. Why the fuck is the game in 4x3? Like, Steam automatically stretches the game out to 16:9, so I assume most people back in the day just naturally assumed that this is just what it looked like. But no, this game legitimately is in 4x3 for some godforsaken reason. Like, the console and mobile ports give you the option to choose between the two resolutions, but that just seems like a band-aid fix to a much larger issue. Like, how did this happen in the first place? Did Scott just make this game on an old Dell monitor? Did he just accidentally start making game assets for the game in 4x3, and when he finally noticed, he just said, fuck it, I don't care? I don't know, it's not a huge issue at all, like you can still play the game just fine, but it just feels totally bizarre that this happened in the first place. Anyways, FNAF 2, it's the grand reopening of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, back and better than ever. And I'm just gonna spoil the big twist slash lore reveal right here and just say it, this game is a prequel. Sorry to spoil it, but it's kind of important for the sake of discussion. Sorry to the 3 people familiar with FNAF that didn't know this game was a prequel. However, this is still canonically a grand reopening. So lore-wise, this opens the door to the idea of 3 Freddy's Pizzerias in its lifetime up to this point, woo. The phone guy informs you it's the first day of your new summer job at Freddy's. What I thought was cool was that there was a definitive overarching plot involving Freddy's in the background going off of what was being told from the phone guy. Basically, there's this looming story of the pizzeria being investigated and eventually being shut down. I don't have much to add to this, I just thought it was kind of cool seeing an actual definitive story ongoing throughout the game instead of the convoluted cesspool of hidden lore we're used to by now. Okay, so right off the bat, the setup for the game, while very familiar, is much different. You're still checking the cams and sitting in an office, but in this one, you have no doors to protect yourself. The office layout is much different now. It's more open this time. Animatronics can now come into your office via these air vents on the walls on the opposite ends. Alongside just waltzing right into your office through this hallway, your defense, well, you have a flashlight. Some animatronics, namely Foxy, don't take too kindly to the flashlight, so just shining your light at them a few times can scare them off, or at least stun them. The flashlight can also be used to brighten up a camera's feed too, so to see more of what's going on, which is honestly a great feature. However, if an animatronic is already in your office or in the vents, you can attempt to fool them with an empty Freddy Fazbear head. You put it on and most animatronics will be fooled by it, except for 2, Foxy and the puppet. Foxy is just a weird guy and is just very aggressive. He will be constantly coming through the hallway and you are dependent on shining the flashlight at him to scare him off. And then there's this new animatronic, the puppet. Basically in camera 11 there's a music box that must be wound at all times, essentially just holding your mouse button on it. If you fail to keep it wound, the puppet will come and jump scare you, woo. Speaking of animatronics, oh dear god, there's so many. Okay, so the last game it was 4 or 5 depending on how you count it. This one? Well, okay, there's Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. It makes sense for them to be right here, albeit these are the new toy iterations of these animatronics. There's this new animatronic, Mangle, that's essentially just a worn down toy Foxy. But then there's these new animatronics. I already talked about the puppet, but there's also another new animatronic, Balloon Boy. He can't kill you, but if he gets into your office, he'll disable your flashlight, which will likely lead to a game over by the hand of Foxy. Side note, I remember back in the day there was this fan animation. It was just like going to be a little parody about Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and all that, but there's this one scene where Balloon Boy came to the office and he said,
"I'm just trying to get my hands on his sweet, succulent AA batteries."
That is a line my brother and I still quote to this very fucking day. I don't know, that doesn't matter to anything, but I just really wanted to mention that. Okay, so it's a bit crowded at this point, but then Scott says, "Fuck you." The withered animatronics, older and beaten up versions of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. I already spoke about Foxy, but the other three function about the same as the other animatronics, but still, holy shit, that's 10 animatronics. And we're not even really done. There's even more bonus animatronics. Golden Freddy makes his grand return from the last game, similar functioning except he just kind of appears randomly. This endoskeleton can appear at your vent sometimes, but he can't really kill you, so And then for a bonus animatronic that can kill you, there's everyone's favorite RWXFSFASXC, also known as Shadow Bonnie. He's just some random illusion that shows up randomly, and just like Golden Freddy FNAF 1, if you stare at him too long, he'll crash your game. And I thought we were done too, but no, after that we have Shadow Freddy? He does nothing really. Oh well, we're not done yet either, because finally we have JJ, another secret character. She's a palette swap, assumably a female version of Balloon Boy, who will randomly appear in your office under your desk and do nothing. Great, cool. Phew, holy shit, there's so many animatronics. Mr. Scott Cawthon, I think you went a little overboard, not gonna lie. With this many animatronics, how's it work while playing? In execution, the game is way more chaotic than the first game. It's totally manageable, but you always have something going on at any point. It's so damn stressful at points. Honestly, this game was way more stressful than it was scary. Constantly have to check the vents, the hallway, keeping the music box wound. It's so stressful. At one point in the game, I just kind of said fuck it, and I stopped checking all the cameras except for camera 11 to wind up the music box. Everyone else, I waited till they came to my office to deal with them. However, I just mentioned scares, so in terms of scares, I mean, it's just about as scary as the first game. The jump scares will make you jump and startle, but over time, you just won't react much to them outside of seeing the game over screen. Sound design is a little less strong than the last game, but it's quite strong just like the last game. But I remember as a kid, this was my favorite FNAF game. Why was that? Well, it's probably because this game was seemingly endless in terms of secrets, even if the secrets didn't always turn out to be true. Well, in terms of secrets that were real, we already covered the shadow animatronics, but there's these minigames that will pop up every so often when you die. They're styled after Atari 2600 graphics, and they work really well. They all come and essentially tell a story. I was only able to get to 2 of the minigames out of the 4 of them total, because the chances of them showing up is completely random. In terms of what I was able to experience, there's this minigame where you're supposed to follow the puppet through the pizzeria for one. In most cases, following the puppet just leads to the game ending randomly, but very rarely, you're stopped and killed by a purple man. Yes, it is true, my friends. This is the grand series debut of Purple Guy. In the other minigame I got, Give Cake, you're tasked with giving cake to angry, upset children. But if you look above, you'll see a child crying outside the pizzeria when a man pulls up in his car and kills him before driving away. Oh my god, it's the Purple Guy! He also appears in this other minigame, Foxy Go Go Go. You're supposed to run into the room and surprise the kids, but at the end of the game, before you run in, you see the Purple Guy smiling, and when you run in, you see all the kids dead. The last minigame you play as the puppet, giving gifts to kids, before putting masks of Freddy and the gang on top of the bodies of dead kids. This pretty much confirms the popular fan theory from the first game. I forgot to touch upon it last time, and I'm sure most people are familiar with this theory, but TLDR for those unaware, it was a popular theory in FNAF 1 that the animatronics were possessed by the souls of the dead kids due to the missing kids posters and signs that the animatronics were having weird smells and stuff. In terms of other weird stuff in this game, not really a secret because this is something you're greeted to when you first boot up the game. In between nights, you have these weird cutscenes portraying you in the eyes of Freddy Fazbear from the first game in the first game's restaurant. You just kind of look around, and in the last cutscene, you have the puppet blocking your view, still in the FNAF 1 restaurant, which is kind of cool actually. I'll be honest, I have no idea what the purpose of these cutscenes are from a lore perspective. I'm not overly familiar with the hidden lore, so bear with me, but like, this just seems like it was meant to be spooky and freak out the player on the first run and literally nothing else. Okay, so that was a lot, but then after all that, there were these rumors and hoaxes about even more secrets, oh dear god. Like I said as a kid, this game seemed utterly endless in terms of secrets. Okay, FNAF 2 hoaxes. Well, infamously, there were rumors of a purple guy animatronic that appeared in your office. I doubt many people fell for it because, I mean, look at it. It's pretty obviously a Photoshop based on Golden Freddy's render, but there was also this Golden Toy Freddy. Again, I doubt many fell for it. Shadow Balloon Boy, third verse, same as the first. Yeah, I can't believe many of us fell for these hoaxes as kids, looking back on it all. It's so stupid. It's honestly a little embarrassing to think about the fact that we fell for these as kids. Well, anyways, let's finish up with the game itself. Okay, same gist as last time. 5 nights of the main game. Night 5 was pretty difficult, but totally manageable. It felt pretty cool to finish night 5. But then night 6 told me to go fuck myself. Yeah, I'm sorry, I honestly couldn't for the life of me finish night 6, and I really didn't want to spend a week of my life trying to finish night 6. It's a shame too because Custom Night got a major overhaul in this game too. Upon beating night 6, you get a new and improved Custom Night. This time with a new improved roster of animatronics as well. You have 10 animatronics to select from. And just like last time, you can individually adjust the AI values to make it your own literal Custom Night. But new to this game, you have a set of predetermined challenges for you to take on, and beating any of said challenges unlocks a small plushie to hang around on your desk office. This is so cool. It turns a quick little bonus thing from the last game into just so much more content. This time, just like the 420 mode from the last game, there is 1020 mode. This one is probably definitely harder, but I don't really seem to remember there being any mystery of, ooh, is this even possible to 1020 mode? I don't know, just random thought. But that's all I got for FNAF 2. This is a great sequel to the first and really has this overall theme of new and improved. There's just so much new of everything. Almost everything new it does, it just really adds something to the game. The first game laid down the groundwork, and this game laid down the framework of the modern idea of Five Nights at Freddy's. Just like before, following the release of FNAF 2 and many months of game theories and speculation, we got FNAF 3. Again, only 4 months after the last, but wow, yeah, that's something to be discussed next time. On that lovely note, thanks so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.